All right, thanks, guys. We are 4-0 with a push in our last 5 NBA tier package picks on BrockPage.com. $1,000 bettors are up over $3,600 during that span. Now, BrockPage.com is a website where I share with you my actual personal bets, games that I personally have action on. It's not just giving out an opinion on every single game that's on the slate like I do here on YouTube. So if you want to find out which one of these picks on this video is being featured as today's NBA tier package pick on my website, the link for that package is in the description section below. We currently have over 820 members who are signed up and active on my safe and secure website right now. And with that, guys, let's go ahead and dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Grizzlies taking on the Pistons, 7 o'clock Eastern start time. Memphis is minus 12 with the total at 225. Now, the Grizzlies won 6 out of their last 7 ball games, and they covered the number in 86% of those contests I just mentioned. This is a team that could potentially be a contender here. They could, if they keep going the way they're going, they could make a good run, in the postseason here. Now, John Morant, he's averaging 26.5 points per contest, along with 5 rebounds and 6 assists. Meanwhile, Desmond Bane, he's drilling 41% of his 3 balls. He's also averaging 17.5 points a night. And speaking of scoring, the Grizzlies actually find themselves amongst the best scoring teams in the game. They're currently in the top 3 in offensive points per contest. And of course, when it comes to the rebounding in this one, well, really nobody does it better on the offensive end of the court. Memphis currently finds themselves first in the NBA in offensive boards per game. They're taking on a Detroit squad who got the W in just 8 home games this year. And they currently find themselves dead last in the NBA in shooting from the field in front of their home fans. As a matter of fact, the Pistons are currently averaging only 102 points a game this year. When it comes to the injury report, really bad news here. Leading scorer Cade Cunningham, he could potentially be sitting this one out here tonight. He's currently questionable with a hip injury, so that is certainly not going to help their offensive problems. Meanwhile, Livers is still out. Jackson and Hayes are questionable. Meanwhile, for Memphis on the other side of things, Brooks, Tilly, Aldama, Tillman, and Ponce, they are all listed as out for them. Now, total-wise, Memphis saw unders recently with Washington, San Antonio, and Dallas. They're also 7-3 to the under in their last 10 meetings with Detroit. So if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. Meanwhile, the Pistons on the other side of things, they saw 4 out of their last 5 fall under the line. I'm going to lean toward Memphis minus 12 and the under 225. Next matchup, it is going to be Nets versus the Wizards, 7:30 p.m. East. Washington is minus 3 at home, totals 216.5. But despite how bad Brooklyn's been, well, I got to tell you this, the Wizards have been equally as putrid. These guys got the W in just 1 out of their last 9 ball games, and they failed to cover the point spread 8 times during that stretch. Now, the Wizards currently have a losing record at home, and they're amongst the worst 3-point shooting teams in the league. They're actually in the bottom 3 right now in the NBA in offensive 3-point percentage. They're taking on a Brooklyn team who leads the NBA in guarding the 3 ball on the road. And no real surprise here. The Nets are also in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage as well. Now, when it comes to offensive production in this one, Kyrie Irving, he's averaging 23 points a game, along with 4 boards and 5 assists. Meanwhile, Patty Mills is scoring 13 points a game himself, and he's also making nearly 43% of his shots from beyond the arc. And speaking of 3-pointers in this one, Brooklyn still leads the entire NBA in 3-point shooting on the road. Now, injury-wise, Aldridge, Millsap, Durant, and Harris, they're all still out for Brooklyn. Now, James Harden, he's also sitting this one out as well. He could potentially be traded by the time you watch this video. He is in hot and heavy trade talks with Philadelphia. So anyway, for Washington on the other side here, Gafford is out. Beal's done for the season. When it comes to the total in this one, Washington has seen overs recently with Miami, the Clippers, and this very Brooklyn team. Meanwhile, the Nets saw 3 out of their last 5 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Brooklyn +3 in the over 216.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Heat versus the Pelicans, 7:30 Eastern start time. Miami's -5.5 with the total at 217. Now, the Heat's on a 3-game winning streak, and they're currently leading the NBA in offensive three-point percentage. Max Strus is drilling 41% of his three-pointers. He's also scoring 11 points a game. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler, he's scoring nearly 22 points a night himself, along with 6 boards and 6 assists. When it comes to defensive play in this one, Miami's allowing only 104 points per contest, and they currently lead the NBA in defensive boards. Now, they're taking on a new-look Pelicans team who has a losing record at home this year, and they also dropped 7 out of their last 10 against Miami. Now, total-wise, the Heat went 80% to the over in their last 10 ball games. They're also 20-11 to the over when they travel. And that's good for 65% in that category. I'm going to lean toward Miami -5.5 and the over 217. All right, next contest. It is going to be Raptors versus the Rockets, 8 p.m. Eastern start time. Toronto is -8 with the total at 223.5. Now, the red-hot Raptors won their last 7 straight, and they did cover the point spread in all 7 of those victories. Now, the Raptors have also played really tough defensively this season as well. They currently find themselves in the top 10 in fewest points allowed per game. And they're also doing a really nice job guarding the 3-ball on the road. Now, scoring-wise, when it comes to offensive production with this Toronto roster, well, of course, as always, it's Freddie VanVleet. He's scoring over 21.5 points a game, along with 4 rebounds and 7 assists. Now, of course, Freddie's still dangerous from 3 land as well. He's also drilling 40% of his 3 balls. Meanwhile, Pascal Siakam, he's looking a little bit more like his old self here recently. He's scoring 21 points a game now, along with 8 rebounds and 5 assists. Now, they're taking on a Houston team who lost 7 out of their last 8 themselves, and they covered the point spread just twice during that span. Now, the Rockets have been terrible on the defensive end of the court this season. As a matter of fact, they allow more points per contest than any other team in basketball right now. And of course, no surprise here, Houston finds themselves dead last in defensive field goal percentage as well. Now, when it comes to the injury report in this one, leading 3-point shooter for Houston, that's Eric Gordon. He's listed as questionable for today's action. Garuba is also still out. And when it comes to the total in this one, Houston's gone 16-9 to the over on their home court. They're also 60% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Toronto. Now, the Raptors, they saw 4 out of their last 5 get over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward Toronto -8 in the over 223.5. Next ball game, it is going to be Clippers versus the Mavericks, 8:30 Eastern start time. Dallas is -7 with a total at 215.5. Now, Dallas won their last 3 straight. They covered the point spread in 6 out of their last 9. Now, the Mavs play some of the best defense in the Western Conference. They're actually allowing only 101 points a game at the American Airlines Center, and they're leading the NBA in defending the 3-ball at home. Now, scoring-wise, Luka Doncic, he's averaging over 26 points per contest, along with 8 boards and 9 assists. Meanwhile, Jalen Brunson, he's dropping over 16 points a game himself, along with 3 rebounds and 5.5 assists as well. The Mavs are currently 19-10 straight up as the official home team. They're taking on a Clippers squad who lost 3 out of their last 4 themselves, and they're winning only 40% of their road games. Now, the Clippers are also amongst the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. They're in the bottom 10 in offensive boards, bottom 3 in defensive rebounding as well. And when it comes to the scoring in this one, LA saw unders recently with Charlotte, Orlando, and Philadelphia. They also went 60% to the under in their last 10 meetings with Dallas. So if you're into historical trends, plenty of unders to go around. Meanwhile, the Mavs on the other side of things, they saw their last 3 straight fall under the line themselves. Now, Dallas is also 23-6 to the under on their home court. I'm going to lean toward Dallas -7 and the under 215.5. Next matchup, it is going to be Knicks versus the Warriors, 10 o'clock Eastern start time. Tell you what, a couple months ago, this would be a great matchup on paper, but not so much now because Golden State is -9.5, totals 217. I'll probably expect them to be laying double-digit points by tip-off. Now, the Warriors did get the W in 9 out of their last 10 ball games, and they're currently winning over 86% of their contests at the Chase Center. Now, when it comes to defensive play in this one, the Warriors are leading the league in defensive field goal percentage. They're also holding their competition to just 31% shooting from three land at home. Now, offensively, Steph Curry is averaging 25.5 points a night, along with 5 boards and 6 assists. Meanwhile, Andrew Wiggins, he's making nearly 42% of his three-pointers. He's also scoring 18 points a game. And speaking of three-pointers, Golden State's in the top 3 in shooting the three ball at home. They're taking on a Knicks team who lost 7 out of their last 8. They covered the point spread just twice during that span. Now, the Knicks have had significant problems on the offensive end of the court this year. They're scoring only 103 points a game on the road. And they also find themselves in the bottom 3 in offensive field goal percentage away from home. Now, injury-wise, Noel, Robinson, and Grimes, they are listed as questionable. Barrett has also been downgraded to doubtful. Now, Golden State on the other side of things, Iguodala is out. Green, Angelica are also out indefinitely as well. When it comes to the total in this one, Golden State's 19-10 to the under in front of their home fans. They also went 60% to the under in their last 10 outings at any location. Meanwhile, New York saw unders recently with Utah, Sacramento, and Cleveland. I'm going to lean toward Golden State -9.5 and the under 217. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our next and final matchup of the show. It is going to be Bucks versus the Suns, 10 p.m. Eastern tip-off. Phoenix is -4, totals 233. And as good as the Suns have been at home this year, they do have a losing record against the point spread in the Phoenix arena. As a matter of fact, Phoenix failed to cover in 3 out of their last 5 home games, and they're allowing 118 points a game in their last 10 meetings with Milwaukee. So if you're into historical trends, these guys have struggled with the Bucks on the defensive end of the court. And of course, speaking of the Bucks in this one, they won their last 4 straight, and they successfully covered the number 4 times during that stretch. Now, Milwaukee's currently in the top 3 in road scoring. They're led by Giannis Antetokounmpo, who averages 29 points a game, along with 11 rebounds. Meanwhile, Chris Middleton, he's scoring 19.5 points a game himself, along with 5 boards and 5 assists. And speaking of rebounds, well, the Bucks are currently in the top 3 in the NBA in offensive boards. These guys are very tough, very physical underneath the basket. Now, injury-wise, Hill and Lopez are both still out for Milwaukee. When it comes to the total in this one, the Bucks saw their last 3 straight get over the line, 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, the Suns went 4-1 to the over in their last 5 themselves, 80% to the over in their last 10 meetings with Milwaukee. I'm going to lean toward the Bucks +4 in the over 233. And with that, guys, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap, powered to you by my website at brockpage.com, where we are currently 4-0 with a push in our last 5 NBA tier package picks on that website. I like Memphis -12, under 225. Give me Brooklyn +3, over 216.5. I like Miami -5.5, over 217. Give me Toronto -8, over 223 and a hook. I like Dallas -7, under 215.5. Give me Golden State -9.5, under 217. And with my next and final matchup of the show, I'm going to lean toward Milwaukee +4 in the over 233. And with that, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on brockpage.com. Now, if you guys do end up getting a membership here today on my website, just keep in mind, you're going to get billed the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So if you do end up getting a membership here today on brockpage.com, you're actually going to get access to that content all the way through the end of February. Although I do tell folks in every single video, the earlier in the month you sign up, the better. And guys, if you want to get access to every single pick that I give out on my website, you're going to want to sign up for my board member tier package. Not only do board members get access to the board member tier pick itself, you're also going to get access to every other package that I offer on that website. It's an all-inclusive pass. It's by far the best value and the best package that I offer on that website. But most importantly, guys, got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, guys, happy Thursday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at brockpage.com.